to do the sampling formative too. The original video, tutorial video, showed this in a DAW called Band Lab, but some people were having trouble with it, and that's why I'm having you use Logic this year. Band Lab is a web-based program, and it's it's quirky dependent on how many people around the world are using it at any one time. So let's just do this new tutorial video that's just for Logic. So we've talked about what a break beat is. We've talked about what sampling is. And a break beat is a type of phrase, meaning one instrument playing a number of measures of full music. We'll talk about something called one-shots in another section, in another formative. But this is a type of phrase called a break beat. And yes, this is where the term break dancing came from. So here I am in Schoology, as so should you be. So here we are. Let's go back. I'll make this obvious. You have now opened Schoology. Here you are. And you've gone into the sampling folder. Here we are. And you've gone into the sampling to formative. What you are going to do, same thing that was in the written directions the past couple days. You're going to download the full version of Funky Drummer. See, I already ripped this from YouTube for you, so you don't have to. So once we get here, in order to download this and not just play it in the player here, you actually have to click on the words again. And that'll go right into the downloads folder. For some people, it'll automatically start playing in iTunes, and if that happens, just close out iTunes. Okay, the next direction that you had in front of you today or last class was right-click anywhere free in the desktop to create a new folder. And we're going to title this Sampling 2. Sampling 2, because it's the Sampling 2 formative. Then we're going to go to Downloads, and we're going to find the Funky Drummer full MP3 in our downloads, and you're going to click and drag it into the Sampling 2 folder. So that's now where it exists. Everything that we're doing in this project is going to be in the Sampling 2 folder. It's just a good practice to keep everything in one place. Okay, now we're going to open up Logic. So I'm opening up Logic, blah, blah. It's probably going to open up, yeah, what is this? Let me see. That's the drum groove the drum groove formative that we did. So if it opens up an old project, that's okay. Just go File, Close Project. No worries. Now, it may disappear completely. We've gone through this before. If you go down here, if there's a little dot under Logic Pro on the toolbar, we'll just press it again, and look at the top. It came back. Here, I'll press somewhere else. It went away. Oh no. But it really is still open because it has a dot underneath the program icon. Oh, look, it's there. Well, what does it want from me? How come nothing's popping up? Well, it's actually waiting for me to tell it what to do. And I actually want to go File, New. That's what it was waiting for me to do. So, empty project, and we're actually going to choose audio. Again, this was on your written directions. So you have it written in front of you. You also have now the second tutorial video. All right, so here we are, and we have this audio track. This is not a type of track that you can put an instrument on. That's why I don't see any instruments. This right here, a software instrument track. Well, this is where I can get all of those instruments or synthesizers rather, and samplers, which is, I don't want to confuse us. A sampler is not the same thing as this sample. So we have this break beat phrase embedded within this entire song. We're going to drag that over into the timeline onto the audio track. And now we have to find where this breakbeat is. I could probably use those hits somewhere. But see, this would be an example of a one shot. Or this. It's just one shot, just one sound real quick. Like it might just be a snare drum or it might just be a kick drum, but we're actually looking for a phrase. So we're looking for a phrase right now. Let's see. Can I change what this says? Can I? No. I know it's about 5 minutes into the song. Where is it?
One more time, I want to get the drummer some of this.
Right, because James Brown, he starts talking to the band.
One more time, I want to get the drummer some of this funky soul we got here.
Please do.
You don't have to do no solo, bro. Just keep what you got. Don't turn it loose, because it's a mother. When I count to 4, I want everybody to lay out and let the drummer go. When I count to 4, I want you to come back in.
Okay, James.
It's in my color.
Just count. Just count, man.
Feels so sweet.
You told us you were going to count to 4, but then you didn't count to 4.
About the what it is. About the what it is.
I guarantee it's probably over here because you actually see the waveform get less dense. There we go. Okay, so it's somewhere over here. So before I go ahead and edit anything, I want to do something called Enable Advanced Tools. So I'm going to go up here, and as are you, to Logic Pro, and then go to Preferences. Do that now in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, you're going to navigate to Advanced Tools in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. And make sure you enable all. Enable all. Mine's already enabled. Enable all in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. All right. The next thing you need to know is snap to grid. Well, this gives us different divisions by which the playhead will actually click, 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 click. But since we don't know what the tempo of this is yet, we don't know if it has anything to do with our current tempo up here of 120. So I don't want to snap to the grid because the grid adheres to 120. We don't know what the tempo is. So I want this to more fluidly move across.
1, 2, 3, 4, get it.
Okay, so here's the first little blob. He counts.
1, 2, 3, 4, get it.
Blob. Okay, this little blob right here must be the beginning of the phrase because he counted us in. I'm going to get this as close as possible, which is about right there. And then, if you go right click, mine already has split playhead here, but you might have to go down to split. So right click, go down to split, and go split at playhead. Great. We don't need anything to the left of this right now, so we're going to highlight everything to the left of this, and we're going to delete it. Okay, let's zoom back out. From here, see, you found, he counted us down. He counted 1, 2, 3, 4. We found the little blob, right? We turned off the smart snap or whatever. Well, I should turn it off. I didn't turn it off. It was close enough. And then we right click and we went to split at playhead. It split it right at that blob that we found. And then we deleted everything to the left of it. Okay, we're going to move this all the way back to 1. Okay, it's called, we zeroed it out. Bring it all the way back to 1. That's an old term that people used to use from the tape machine days, so don't worry about that too much. Now, if we listen, you hear more than just the drums there, don't you? You hear a guitar. So we actually don't want that. So we're going to let this play. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to count to the next measure. And when we hear 1 on the next measure, we're going to cut it at that blob too. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There's the little blob. This would be 1 beginning a new measure. So I want to delete this measure. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, blob. 1. That would be 1. And 1 starts a new measure. And we're doing this because we don't want that guitar hit from the last measure. So we just won't use that last measure. Okay, split a playhead, delete what we don't need. Now we're going to move this back to 1. Zero out, as we say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, blob. Okay, so I just counted 2 measures. I counted 2 measures. And then I found the blob at which measure 3 would begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, plop. Which is this big blob right here. Okay, well that would give us 2 full measures. So I'm going to cut it at this big blob. Let's go right click, split playhead, get rid of this. If I was really chopping this up, I could probably find more things in there. So I wouldn't just delete it if I was just doing this to actually do more than just show you this tutorial. But 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, great. So we know it's a 2-measure phrase because we just counted 2 measures. But I guess my question is this. If we know that this is 2 measures, it takes the waveform this long to complete 2 measures. But it only takes the session at this tempo to complete 2 measures here. So the session completes 2 measures before the wave completes 2 measures. That means the session tempo is faster than the waveform. And we did a little trial and error, and we found that at 101 beats per minute, actually we can right click and just go 101, enter, that gives us pretty much exactly the tempo that this is at. Now my session has been acting funny. Now if you zoom in, you'll notice where we cut it isn't exactly completing 2 measures at this tempo, but it's close enough. It's close enough. So there's one of 2 things that you can do. All right, there's one of 2 things that you can do. You can leave it as it is. You can Command C to copy and then put the playhead at 3 and Command V to paste. And again, we zoom in and we notice that, wait a minute, the phrase doesn't actually complete all the way before it begins again on the downbeat of 3, but this is such a small amount of silence that our brains won't even hear it. Our brains will fill it in. It's so quick. Let's test that. Watch. It's undetectable. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do is put the playhead at 3, and you could actually recover what you cut out, not by looping, but by extending. It's actually going back to what you cut out. But see, it's actually, if we do that, and then we cut it at the playhead, making this exactly ending at 3, so we can loop, what happens? Well, we don't really have a clean kick drum there, do we? No, we don't. We don't have a clean kick drum there. But is that offensive to the ear? Let's see. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. That kick drum is a little iffy, but that works. It doesn't sound as good because we get a little bit of the kick drum overlap as we just saw on that downbeat, but it works, and in this way you can loop it. So the other way, by leaving the silence and copying and pasting in the right spots, it'll probably sound better, but you won't be able to loop it. This way won't sound quite as good, but you'll be able to loop it. All right, so now that we have all this, per the directions, you were to file save as sampling 2 to the desktop, and I can save it right into the sampling 2 folder from here. I don't know if you'll be able to do that, but you can at least save it to the desktop and then drag it in later. So we ultimately want to end up with the Funky Drummer full version, the sampling 2 session itself, and then finally what I'm going to do is, because we want to curate, that means collect our own samples that we've collected over time. I have folders of thousands of samples that I've collected over time. So what I'm going to do is, can I do this? I want to right click and go export. And I'm going to get export as files. I want to keep this high quality. I'm going to go WAV file. AIFF is a type of file just for Macs, but I want to be able to use this anywhere, any way I want. Just make it a WAV file. And we're going to save this. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Yeah, it's not going to let me save it exactly where I want to yet, so I'll export this. What do I want to save this as? Funky drummer break beat. We'll export it. And that's probably going to show up somewhere over here. No, that's not it. This is from a previous one that I did. Where's Funky Drummer Breakbeat? It should have gone to the desktop. You've made a liar out of me this day, computer. How dare you? Let's try that one more time. Export as audio files. Great. Then what did you save it as? Chillax. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, okay. I can do it right in here. All right, so I can save it right to the sampling 2 folder again. Let me see if that works this time. But I believe you can't. Yeah, okay. It just added all this weird stuff. Oh, that's why. All right, so if you do that, it's going to first put, that's probably what I just got rid of. It's going to put the name of the original full track, and then it's going to add the tag in afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this. That's messed up. That's stupid. There we go. Funky Drummer Breakbeat. So there is the breakbeat that we curated from this. Next, what we're going to do is I want to actually do something with this. So I'm going to find some loops. Let's just find some loops. And we're going to see how we're going to repurpose this. It's going to sound completely different. Choral riff layers. I don't know what that means. I mean, it's vintage, but it's also cheesy. Let's try this. You're just watching me go through a fun little process of, let's go. Whatever that is, I like it. Yep. It's quirky. You're coming with me. You live here now. Why would you do that? Right there, I'm going to be funny and put. What is that? I'm going to put you here, but I only want you to go that far. There we go. So what would it sound like? Can I do this? Can I right click? Can I go bounce and join? Create. I can. No, because see, that's not in time. And I don't, well, I really wish that worked. What? No. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. All right, so I guess that wasn't close enough in tempo. Let's go by tempo. Let's get it close to 101. What is this? Just gonna move that in and see what happens. That's cool. That's what I'm looking for. Just a little spice at the end of that 2-measure phrase. That's what I'm going for, at least for now. Join. Yes. Okay. You live there now. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, you know, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. Electric bass. Boom, 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 boom. I think that'll work. It's simple enough. Let's see what happens. I'm going to add a little bit. Hold on, let me back this up. I like it. It's fun. Okay. All right. So you don't need that much in order to do something really cool. Oh, hey, no, this is Pertessis, but how you doing?
Do you have?
Thanks for popping in. What's up?
Do you have what's it called?
Probably not.
The big paper.
It should be behind the door, like behind the cabinet. That's usually where he keeps it.
These.
Yeah, there you go. Hey guys, I'm doing. You want to say hi? I'm doing a tutorial video. It's not recording of my face.
Hi.
Hi. Indeed. Oh. Are you okay? Is that the sound of your bones breaking, or is it? You're good? Okay. You hear that? That was cool. I don't know if I like that though. Let's see. I want to add one more element. Sound effects, impacts. Vocals.
5, 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3.
Oh, this is all good.
1.
Let's see what happens if we do this. That's a little much, but let me see. I like this because it's just subtle enough. Let me split it playhead and go here. All right. Bring that down a little bit. Woo! Yeah. I wonder if I can create a. Can I do bounce in place, join? Sure. But it's only going to join there, is it? How do I? There's nothing here. I want just silence. Can I get a loop of just silence? I guess not. All right, well then I would have to go Command C, manually skip that and go Command V. Okay. So this is what I've created for you today, Chef. what I've created for you today, Chef, is a glazed pork chop, medium rare with a wine reduction compost, compacted with strawberry jam and sprig leaves and thyme. Also, the tarragon sauce really brings the flavors together and brings out the cashew flavor embedded within the substance of the reduction sauce. This is what I've created for you today, Chef. I hope you enjoy. I love those cooking shows. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've heard the word compost and chutney before, and I think it's like a jam. But anyway, speaking of jam, does that sound anything like the original track at all? I submit to you it does not, Chef. It doesn't sound anything like, so hence repurpose. We've stolen, if you will, something from something else, and we've reimagined it and repurposed it for something new. And it's taken on a new life, and that's beautiful. And honestly, this is actually a really cool groove. That is so cool. I'm saving this. All right. Well, you do yours in your own way. But at the end of this process, we're going to go highlight everything. We're going to go file. We're going to go bounce. You're going to go bounce. It's called, bouncing is the export term for music. We're going to bounce the project or section. I don't know where that term came from. You can do an MP3. It's not as high quality, but you'll be able to send it easier. It's less information. The file will be smaller. Go ahead and click OK, and I'm going to sampling to Mr. P. All right, so you want to leave it as sampling to, put your name on it. If you can, well, you can save it to your desktop, but save it to the sampling to folder. There it is, and I've thusly created an MP3. There it is. Oh, what are you doing? That sounds like anything from the 90s I would listen to. And yes, I was born before Google. But anyway, so that's the end culmination of this process, is that you want to leave here with an MP3 from this sampling unit. And I also want you to send them to me, right? So attach it as a file to me. Let me know what you're sending me. Let me know that it's your sampling MP3. And that's basically how I'm going to grade you on this. Don't put too many percussion layers. I didn't put any more percussion layers. If you start layering on all sorts of percussion layers, then it's going to obscure me being able to hear how you edited Funky Drummer. And we don't want that. So don't really add any more percussion layers before you bounce out your MP3. And I really would like to showcase some of these MP3s at the big art and music festival, or show rather, showcase at the end of the school year. We're going to be doing that, I think at the town hall in Windsor. I'm not sure yet, but so yeah, I'm definitely going to need these MP3s from you. And how exciting. I'll see you in the next episode of What the Heck Are We Doing in Music Class Today? Yay!